right, we are live, episode 7 of the Saturday Morning Stoa. For today, the focus is going to be discipline over motivation, and our Stoic virtue focus is going to be around temperance. Now, before we get into that, I want to discuss last week's weekly challenge, which was our time audit recap. So last week we wanted to do a time audit, looking at what our daily habits were, where did our hours go, what did we learn, and what are we eliminating. So Tristan, if you want to lead the way on that, what'd you find out with your time audit?
Well, I knew what was going to happen. I've done something like this before,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's a really good eye opener
Yeah.
for how much time you waste because you
Hmm.
don't realize like a little bit here, a little bit there adds up to 4 to 8 hours a day. Like
Yep.
oh, I'm just gonna scroll through Facebook for a few minutes, 20 minutes goes by. Oh, I'm just gonna
Exactly.
like chat with somebody for no reason. Like there's useless chat.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes 30 minutes. And before you know it, you lose a few hours. And even if you're a busy person working like a lot
Hmm.
and don't have a lot of free time, you're still wasting like 2, 3, 4 hours a day. Like like people think, oh, I'm busy working. I work 10-hour days plus 2 hours of commuting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're still wasting so much time.
Absolutely.
You just don't allow yourself to. I don't know. Like people just kind of hide. They think they're better than they really are.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and you're not. I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean that
Mhm.
in like you need to face reality.
Yeah.
And yeah, so anyway, last week my goal was to reduce temperance or not temperance, but reduce like wasted dopamine activities by a lot, and I
Mhm.
did. This week I reduced more. I think one day I didn't do very well, but the other days were like really good. And yeah, like one thing you'll notice when you stop doing these activities is that there is like a certain withdrawal symptom period,
Yeah.
but once like you have to kind of like separate yourself from it. There's a saying fish don't know that they're in water
Yeah.
because they're surrounded by it and they can't think outside of their little thing.
Mhm.
Whatever. I don't know how it's not a very good
Oh,
explanation,
I get you.
but like when you're addicted to video games or scrolling through Facebook or adult videos or even like fantasizing about what your future could be
Yeah.
or reminiscing about past successes or nostalgia, like that's addiction too. And
Absolutely.
if you can't separate yourself from that, you don't really know how much you're wasting and how your life isn't achieving anything. So like if you have a past girlfriend, oh, that was such a great relationship 10 years ago. Why did we break up? Ooh, 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 and you're still thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you probably spent thousands of hours thinking about that.
Oh yeah.
Imagine what your
Yeah.
life could have been like today if you just kind of moved on. Like say goodbye. I forgive you. I forgive myself. We're both at peace and move on with your life, right?
Yeah.
So the point is I'm trying to say is you need to like separate yourself and you can't really separate yourself if you're doing that thing constantly or on a regular basis. So stop
Absolutely.
it and you sober up. And sobriety doesn't just mean you're not drinking alcohol. Sobriety means more like you're thinking clearly and not having some kind of influence in your brain or mind, right?
Yeah.
So
Beautifully said.
yeah,
Absolutely.
so do that. Like separate yourself, trust the process. You don't have to believe a word I say. Do it yourself.
Yeah.
Find out for yourself. And you'll realize one, you're wasting tons of time. Two, you have a lot more addictions than you think.
Oh yeah.
Like nostalgia, thinking past, future, worrying,
Yep.
stressing about things. It's all addiction
Yep.
because you're addicted to those states.
Mhm.
And then, so try to separate yourself from that and you'll free up so much time. Your dopamine brain is going to re-regulate. Your brain is plastic.
Yeah.
It can change. Before we're like, once you lose brain cells, they're gone forever. No, no,
Yeah.
you can get them back. They can change. And so don't worry. It doesn't matter how old you are. Just start now and go live your life.
No, beautifully said for sure. And yeah, it's funny you said that about, the fantasizing about the future or worrying about the future or reminiscing on the past. That's one of my takeaways from last week was I do that constantly. Not so much looking back. I'm pretty good at it's in the past, it's done, move on. For me, it's the constant looking forward all the time, but in a non-productive way where I'll just
Hmm.
okay, well, I'll start worrying about well, what if this, what if this, what if this, what if this. And there's a constructive way to do that, but there's also a deconstructive way to do that where you're just randomly worrying about stuff. And I always have to kind of pull myself back to go, okay, what can I do about it right now? Is there anything I can do about it right now? And think rationally and not be delusional about it and go, yes, okay, I can do this. Well, then do that. Just do that one thing and
Hmm.
be okay with it and stop worrying about all these other things that may or may not come true in the future. That was
Yeah.
a big one for me. And one other thing I found too was my transition periods were way too long. And what I mean by that is like my transition from waking to going to work, and then from going to work to coming home, and then getting into more of a productive state to do something else.
Yeah.
It always seems to drag out, and it's always, oh, I have to do this first. I have to do this, and you may have these things you have to take care of. That's fine. But then I find it always bleeds into, okay, well, let me check Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me get some motivation for something, or okay, let me look at this. And then it's like, oh, it's an hour. I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
okay, well now I gotta shower, I gotta eat, gotta do all these things, and then it's just eaten up. So I think the transition periods in your life, whatever that may be, from work to home, going to the gym, trying to shorten those transition periods up can save you a
Yeah.
lot of time as well.
I experienced that too. It's like, okay, I just worked out. I want to do some real work,
Yeah.
but I need to just kind of calm down, stop sweating, and get my mind focused. So I'm just gonna watch a video, and then
Yeah.
2 hours later, I need some food, and then I need a nap. I'm tired, and like
Yep.
you don't do anything, right?
And then you get nothing done.
Yeah. So one thing I found was having like a meditation breath work session before every activity,
Yep.
grounding myself.
Yep.
It doesn't mean necessarily like sit there and like meditate like the stereotypical kind. It just means like basically you're trying to just calm your mind and bring focus to your current task. So
Yes.
like get rid of everything that you just did, forget about things in the future, just kind of calm yourself, bring yourself to this moment and be like, okay, I'm going to work on whatever for 1 hour and just kind of focus on that. And I do that through like 5 minute breath work session on
Yep.
YouTube or 5 minute some kind of guided meditation or 10 minute, doesn't matter.
Love that.
Or whatever it is that you do, right? Like that's what I find helpful is like the mental breath work kind of thing. Just
That's a good point, and it's funny. You hear these things all the time, and I've heard that in the past too about like before going into another stage of your day to ground yourself and
yeah,
put an intention on it. And
yeah,
that's such a
intention.
powerful thing. It really is. Okay, I'm done my workout. I'm gonna take 5 minutes, breathe. What am I doing next? Okay, I'm gonna do
Hmm.
my community work, or I'm gonna do this, do that. Yeah, that's perfect. I like that.
Yeah. And also I like to visualize what I'm going to do next as well. So like visualize my intention. That's the most important thing. It's like that's the whole point is intention, trying to breath work into intention. But
Yep.
also like visualize what you're gonna do. So if I'm gonna go do an hour workout of like let's say legs day today,
Yeah.
all right, I'll kind of visualize me doing squats. I'll visualize me doing whatever I do, and then also visualize me finished and proud of myself for finishing the
Yeah. There you
complete
go.
thing too. So
Yeah.
like you don't necessarily want to do the process step by step all the time, but like just the most important thing is visualizing and feeling the complete process of finishing.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so like now you're all prepared. And I know some people who work out, like that's what they do. And that's what really gets them focused and they work harder and they work like a lot of people when they go to the gym, and this is applicable to everything you do, not just gym. But
Yeah.
like, you go to the gym and you're doing some bicep curls. Most people just kind of like swing the bar up and down. Like
Just going through
you're
the
not doing
motions.
anything, right?
Yep.
But when you do it nice and slow and with intention and you're focusing on the bicep and not momentum or the shoulder, and
Yep.
you're just one, nice and slow, two. I mean, you just did more work than some guy doing 10 fast reps right there.
Oh, absolutely.
So like but what you do is you visualize yourself and you feel it first, and that really helps you put you in the right mindset.
Yeah.
And there's some like metaphysical stuff involved with that too. Maybe like if you visualize it done, it's easier to do it. It's more natural to do it. And whether or not you believe in that stuff, it's fine. I think it's actually it works. But
I think so as well.
yeah.
And I think
So yeah,
one key point you said there was intention, right?
yeah,
I see it so many times in the gym. Even this morning, you got guys in there that just going through the
yeah,
motions, going through the motions. I'm like, dude, when I'm in there, I'm okay. If I'm working biceps, I'm trying to make that movement as inefficient as possible. I'm focusing slow, controlled. I'm focusing on this contraction. Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Having that, like, if you're telling your mind, yeah, I'm contracting this muscle and you're squeezing as hard as you can, you're gonna get more of it than just I can do this all day, no
Mhm.
problem. But if I actually slow it down really hard and focus on contracting that muscle, you'd be surprised how many less reps you can get, but
Yeah,
you'll be worn out. It's just telling your mind, yeah, this is what I'm doing.
yeah. I mean, 15-pound dumbbells is really heavy when you do it like
Yep,
proper reps. Like you don't need to
exactly.
go there do it 45s. No one cares. Like you do 15s, you get better workout. So.
Yep.
And this applies to everything too. Like, so if you're going to create or write something, you just visualize yourself finishing the writing. Don't give yourself too much to do. Just be like, I'll do it for 5 minutes,
Yep.
let it flow. Another big problem I think people have is judgment. So when they do something,
Yes.
They always judge themselves. Was it good or bad?
Yes.
Right? So I just drew a
Yep.
picture. I want to sketch a building. You sketch the building. Oh, it wasn't very good.
Mhm.
Or I went to the workout. That was a good workout. Bad set, whatever. Right? Good, bad, good, bad. Or I want to create something. Oh, it's not very good. Who am I to create this?
Mhm.
But we can't judge ourselves. Just this is something I learned from a drawing instructor too. She's like, don't judge whether your circle is good or bad. It just is. And then what can you do better? Oh, this is a little bit too straight. I can curve it a little bit. Okay,
Yep.
curve it a little bit. Erase the bad mark, curve it a little bit. Right? It's not good or bad. It just is. And what can you do to improve it? So I think taking that judgment out of your because I mean literally every single person does this with every single thing
Oh,
we do. So
everything.
stop stop judging yourself as good or
Yeah.
bad. It just is. And I think that if you really internalize that, it can totally shift your life and you'll start doing things so much more. You'll start posting that content you need to,
Yep.
creating like who cares? It doesn't matter if people like it or not. It just is and you can improve it. And eventually you'll be successful in whatever you do. So
Spoken like a true Stoic, brother. That's exactly it. Right? That's Marcus Aurelius right there. He says, things are not either good nor bad. It's our perception of those events that make it so. And if you deem it
mhm.
good or it's bad, that's your judgment upon that thing. So
Yep.
that's beautiful.
It's not good or bad. It just is. And
It
then
just is.
what can I do to make it better? Or is it good enough? Who cares? Right? It
Yeah.
just depends on your what you're doing. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
And I think that comes down to more about just the consistency versus perfection. If you're consistently doing something, you're going to get better at it. If you're just always, I tried this, I wasn't any good, so I'm not going to do it anymore. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
you're never going to get good at whatever that task is or whatever that goal is,
Yeah.
right?
Uh,
It's just
because
consistency over perfection.
yeah, one thing I'm doing is I'm learning to draw in my free time. It's like an activity I find
Nice.
meditative.
Some creative
And
work, yeah.
and um what was I gonna say? Yeah, I was listening to a very well-known drawing instructor. And she's like, some of my students come in and they try to draw and it doesn't look like Da Vinci,
Mhm.
so they quit. They think they're not good enough.
Exactly.
Right? And I'm like,
Yep.
wait, hold on a second. It's like the first time I drew something, it doesn't look like Da Vinci, so I'm not good enough. Like, like I know I used to think like that too. So
Oh
I
yeah.
know a lot of people do that. But obviously, if when you think about it, it's not a very logical way of thinking, and it's
Not
not
at
true at
all.
all. Da
Yeah.
Vinci didn't wake up one day and
Just all of
oh,
a
look
sudden
at
he's
me,
good.
So it takes time to build up those skills, and you're going to have thousands and thousands of horrible drawings. But then eventually you'll find your style and find whatever you like, and you'll become quote unquote good, whatever good means. Because again, go look at art or cars or designs or bodies of people, and some people say that's a great body. Some people say she's not my type, or this drawing by whoever. I love it. It just makes me cry. Other people are like, I don't care,
Yeah,
So even the greatest people in the world, uh, people don't like their stuff too. So what do you expect?
that's right.
All right,
Yeah, don't cast judgment on it.
I'm gonna check the window for a second.
Yeah, no worries. All right. So part of our core topic today, again, we're going to look at discipline over motivation. I think this is always a key one, and this comes back to again that consistency versus perfection. We all know this, but motivation is fleeting. We all have it, we all lose it, but discipline is what really carries us forward. And the Stoics, they didn't wait for inspiration. They trained, they acted. And temperance is all about strength. It's about self-control and actions regardless of mood. And I think that in today's day and age, I don't think I know. In today's day and age, everyone is so bound by their emotions that they don't, oh, I don't feel good today, so I'm not going to do that thing. I'm kind of sad, so I don't want to do my daily habits that I've kind of set the precedent for. It's putting those aside and, this is who I am, and this is what I'm going to do on a daily basis, regardless of mood. That's the key takeaway here. Regardless of mood, you need to show up, whether it's your workouts, whether it's your task for your business you're trying to grow, your relationship. It's you show up and you do the things you say you're going to do. And for me, temperance is really all about control, right? If you don't have control over your schedule, your appetites, your attention, you're not free. And that's one thing I tried to realize long ago is, I want to be free in every aspect of the word. And being free, as a Stoic would see it, would be control over their life, their daily action, and their attention. And we all know this, but today's day and age, it's attention that's the biggest one. If we can gain back our attention, we can be more free men. We can act more free according to our virtues and what we want to do. Right. So a stoic man leads themselves first. Oh, excuse me. Now, how do we build this discipline like a Stoic? And this is going to tie into our challenge for next or this week. But I want us to look up setting up non-negotiable routines. I think that, and I've kind of been playing this out as we've been doing the weeks of our Saturday morning stoas. First of all, visualizing who you want to be, and then conducting your time audit to see where you're wasting your time. Naturally, the next part of this would be, okay, let's set some non-negotiables for what we do on a daily basis according to what we want to be, who we want to be in the future. So we're going to set up a non-negotiable routine. And another one too here is stop negotiating with yourself. I don't know if you do this, but I do this all the time where if I'm doing good for so long, say I'm going to the gym constantly, having good workouts, visualizing, getting good reps in, my business is growing, I'll keep that consistency for a while, and then all of a sudden I don't feel like doing it, and I'll talk in my head, go, well, you know what? You've been going to the gym for so long. Yeah, you could take the day off, or you know what? Your business is going well. You know what? Stop worrying about it for about a week and just kind of focus on something else. It's that internal dialogue and we're so good at convincing ourselves that we don't need to do something. We find all these valid excuses. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I was tired. And again, back to the mood, right? Oh, I was tired. I didn't really feel like it. It's okay because you've had such a good last month. You can kind of ease off for this month. And then what I find is you have these ups and downs now where when you negotiate with yourself and not commit to those daily actions, you'll start to taper off. And then things will get bad again. Maybe your business will decline. Maybe your health will decline. And then you'll go through this entire process all over again where you go, okay, no, I need to get back to working out constantly. I need to make sure I'm doing all these steps for my business. And it's just an up and down, instead of just if you're focusing on those daily actions and you commit to them consistently, not perfectly, but consistently, you'll start to see that growth and continue over time. So that's
Mhm.
one thing I want us to look at. And another thing for discipline, and and maybe you believe in this, I definitely do, but speaking it into the world. This morning, right? Case in point, and I think your brain needs a little bit of a nudge sometimes, but it's, you know what? When I woke up this morning, I said, hey, I'm gonna have a good day. I'm gonna head to the gym right now. I'm gonna have an excellent workout. I'm gonna get a good pump. I'm gonna get a good contraction of my muscles. I'm gonna feel great. And you know what? It happened that way. So you're telling your brain what to do, you're acting on it, and then you're reaffirming it by actually going through that and seeing it all the way to the end. So I want us to try and declare things more often. And I would not suggest just doing it in your head. We're in our heads constantly as it is. Actually verbalizing what you want to do has more weight for yourself. Even if you talk to yourself, you don't believe in that kind of stuff, just trying it, saying, I'm going to have a good day, right? I'm going to have a good workout. I'm going to crush a lot of this work for my business. And then acting on it, you're starting to reaffirm what you're doing, who you are, and it gets easier over time. And that to me is the key for how you continue with discipline over the years, and it doesn't wear you out. Versus motivation. Oh, I'm feeling great today. Okay, let's go crush all these things. And then next day you don't have your motivation. You stop doing all the things you want to do. So that's
Mhm.
going to be part of our challenge. But I wanted to ask you, Tristan, do you have an area in your life you think you're still relying on motivation versus discipline?
It's hard to say. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, almost everything in a way is like I feel like I need that motivation sometimes.
sure.
I'm not as disciplined as I should be. Like I used to be a lot better. I don't know what changed, but yeah. I mean, discipline is probably like my biggest thing to improve.
Yeah,
Just keeping those small promises to myself
yeah,
and doing
absolutely.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Because
I
I do
know
know
for
that
me.
yeah, motivation is just so temporary, and also motivation, I hear some people say it's like an external thing.
Mhm.
So like, oh, I need to go watch some kind of YouTube video that has all those quotes from people,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
hardcore music and quotes. And it's like I need that to get motivated. I'm like, well, hold on a second. If you need to do that, that's coming from external sources, not
yes,
from within. Do you think that's sustainable? Is that really what you want to do? Or, because I think if it doesn't come from inside of you, or you can't learn how to do that, then there's a problem, right? Like, that's one of the things in coaching businesses is like a lot of people hire coaches because they quote, I need someone to get me to do something, right? So they hire someone. but that coach cannot get you to do that thing either. No one can. You have
Yeah,
to do it yourself.
you have
And
to.
you can pay a bunch of money, you can watch motivational videos, you can hire people, but still it's up to you to actually take that action. So
Absolutely.
you have to do that discipline. And I think someone said motivation's external and inspiration is internal. I don't know. That could be true. But
Yeah.
uh but yeah, discipline is the big thing.
Yeah. I used to do that all the time with motivational videos. I'd have to watch a motivational workout video before every workout just to, okay, yeah, I'll get, and after a while it faded. I watched all of them and I'm like, okay, now what do I do? Do I rewatch them? And you start rewatching them again. You're like, it doesn't have the same effect.
Hmm.
Right. So again, it's that fleeting thing. It might last for a bit, but over time you're like, okay, yeah, I'm over it. Now I'm not going to work out anymore, or I don't feel like working out anymore. Versus just, hey, I am this person. I go to the gym every day, regardless of if it's a good or bad workout. Again, not casting that perception onto it. You just go to the gym, you try your best, you set your intention, you go through it, leave it at that. Consistency over perfection. All right. Well, we kind of already discussed it, but for the weekly challenge, it's a two-parter. So I want us to do 3 days of discipline plus our identity-based non-negotiables. So what I want us to do, and I'll put this into the community afterwards, but I want us to pick one discipline. It could be anything. Waking up early, no sugar, cold showers, whatever the case is. Do it for 3 days with zero compromise. Log it in the Forge. So we'll log it into our daily task and I want you to identify, any benefits you've noticed from doing those 3 days. I think it's very important that if you commit to doing something and you do it, then reflecting back on it to see what benefits you gain from it, you can get a better insight into, what they are. If you notice that there's benefits in it, you can continue doing it down the line. And also, again, creating our list of non-negotiables tied to your future identity. That's a big one, and I'm really looking forward to this one as well. But these are actions and standards that you want to become, right? So you want to become every single day. Examples could be, I never skip workouts. I rise at 5 a.m. daily. I never consume junk food. Even if they're, if you think that, oh, they're not attainable, it's, you're striving for perfection, but you're aiming for consistency. So whether it's, hey, I never skip workouts, yeah, that's not an attainable thing. You're going to have life comes up, commitments are going to come up when you just can't do it, and that's fine. But the consistency of, hey, I always go to the gym, that's going to be way more beneficial than, oh, I go to the gym Monday to Friday unless I have some tasks to do or this or that, right?
Yeah. When I
So,
have time, I'll go to the gym. So
yeah, when I have time, that's always a good one, right? And I think a good one for this too is writing them down and keeping them visible, whether it's on your wall, put it on a piece of paper, on your phone, your mirror. If you can consistently see them all the time, you're just reinforcing that habit. And it's easy. I put things on my mirror. My wife kind of hates it, but I put things on the mirror and I'll say, hey, I go to the gym every day or I work on my business every single day. And she's like, can we find a better way to put this on the mirror? I'm like, well, you have nice handwriting. Put some dry erase markers on there and write it out nice and fancy.
yeah.
So good
Well,
compromise.
I wrote it down in the morning journal too. So it's the same thing.
Yeah, perfect. Exactly. All right. And I wanted to wrap up. I was reading again Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, and one thing just stuck on my mind, and it was one of these passages. He says, frightened of change, but what can exist without it? What's closer to nature's heart? Can you take a hot bath and leave the firewood as it was? Eat food without transforming it? Can any vital process take place without something being changed? Can't you see? It's just the same with you, and just as vital to nature. That right there hit me like a ton of bricks. It's like, you know what? Yeah, you need to have change in your life in order to grow. And it's just as it is with nature. Everything changes. People hate change, but
Mhm.
once you've embraced change, you know that it's a consistent in your life all the way till you're dead. It's very important to just, hey, change happens, change is good. Don't get so comfortable with who you are right now. You need to be focused on who you want to become and doing those daily actions to get to that point. All right. Well, anything else before we go, Tristan?
Mm,
I know you got some work to take care of right now, so.
yeah, I don't know how long it's gonna take. It's gonna be like an all day thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess nothing this week. Just I guess another way analogy is when I went to Japan, I wanted to learn the language there.
Mhm.
And learning a language, if you haven't done that, is a tremendously large thing to do. And there's thousands and thousands of vocabulary and grammar points. And in Japanese and Chinese, for example, there's characters instead of letters.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of those. In Japanese, there's 2,500. In
Oh,
Chinese, there's 5,000. So
jeez.
that like doubles the difficulty of the language. And then, so you can't just go to a country and just start speaking the language if you've never learned it, right?
No.
Like, so what I did was, okay, every day I studied the language for 30 to 60 minutes, little
Mm.
by little, little by little. I didn't really notice anything on a daily basis, but over time, I could pass some of the language exams. I passed
Nice.
the more higher level ones, and eventually I passed the highest one.
Yeah.
And you just can become conversational over time. So it's just like a process of you kind of just build up. It usually starts kind of slowly, but then when you learn things, those things that you've learned also relate to the things that you're learning now or in the future, and
Yeah.
so it sort of compounds over time.
It's
So everything
exponential.
kind of builds up upon itself.
Yeah.
And so yes, if you start doing something new, it's not going to make a lot of difference for the first day or week or even a
Yes.
few months, depending on what you're doing,
Yep.
but it does make a difference over time and it will compound over time. And sometimes the change is so slow that you don't even notice it.
Yep.
So like when I was like really into working out, I just woke up one day, I'm like, hey, I got some muscle and I got abs. I didn't even know where that came from,
Where these come from,
you know,
right?
but like it happened over a course of years. Not,
Yeah.
I just didn't realize it, right? So that's the thing that's what happens. So, be patient and kind of get that long-term thinking view rather than the short-term gratification and understand if you just are consistent on a daily basis, things are happening even if you don't realize they're happening, and things compound, so they'll probably get more results later.
Benefits from, yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's like a perspective thing or perception thing. So yeah, I think a lot of people kind of give up on their goal, whatever that is, when after a while they don't see any progress. Like you could learn to draw circles, and you can draw 1,000 circles over the course of 3 months and not really notice anything, but you are getting better. Like you just
Right.
don't know it.
Yep.
So
Quitting prematurely. Yeah.
yeah,
It's a big
well,
one.
yeah. So keep going. That's the point.
Beautifully said, brother. All right. Well, always a pleasure, man. I always enjoy these calls. And I will see you next week.
Yep. Bye bye.
All right. Take care.